Hello and welcome to Athena's Creations 2017. I'm Athena Turk, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2017. Welcome to my YouTube channel or live on Facebook in Athena's Creations. Tonight I have a demonstration for you that's going to show you how to make two very similar but yet different designs for the Ghirardelli chocolates. So this design will hold two little Ghirardelli chocolates. This one will hold one. And I've got some tips and tricks to help along the way. And this one will actually hold, in addition to the two Ghirardelli chocolates, it will actually hold this cute little, it comes out this time of year. It's the Tic Tac Candy Cane, and it's that's fine print. 84 ounces, so it's the smaller version. So I have had some fits with my this great machine or gadget, whatever you want to call it, that holds my phone for me, hands-free. But anyway, I've had to fiddle with it for a while. But anyway, so I'm going to share with you all the fun things that go along with this, and then a surprise little giftable. And I realized I'm not doing any cards tonight. I have giftables. I guess you could say I'm sort of winding down Christmas cards a little bit, but there's some giftables. These will be great also for the craft fairs and things like that. Cute little office gifts, neighbor gifts, the post person, just all kinds of little things that, for, anybody. You could actually put a little tip in here for your waiter or waitress. I mean, there's just, the sky's the limit. And I'm going to share all of the dimensions and everything with you. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's show you the project tonight. And hopefully this amazing gadget that I am using will not move too much tonight like it's done in the past. It's just, it's kind of, it's a great tool. For some reason, I have issues. Okay. Let's see here. And I didn't used to see this part here. I'm not real sure what happened for that to be showing. Let me adjust it one more time real quick here. Ooh, that was weird. Okay. I'm going to, hopefully, this is going to be tight enough. And let me see if I can maneuver this bottom piece. All right. As I've mentioned before, I do this for fun, so I appreciate it when y'all bear with me and I'm having technical issues, as it were. But I've got two Ghirardelli treat holders / Tic Tac holders. So this, as I was mentioning earlier, this will hold this Tic Tac. It's the perfect little size, right? And then this is the cute little size that will hold one little Ghirardelli chocolate. And this will hold up to two. There's so many fun tutorials out there using the same idea. But of course, I'm going to share with you the dimensions and everything. And I'm going to bring in, and hopefully it won't mess the table move too much, but I'm also going to bring in the little mini stamping emboss machine, because we're going to stamp and die cut this piece out, which is super easy and simple. For the little string that I used, I realized on mine I used a retired product that some of you may have in your stash. I think this actually was from a card kit, or maybe even a paper pumpkin that I had in my stash. And that's what I used, along with this beautiful ribbon that's just temporarily unavailable, but it will be back hopefully in a couple of weeks. You could also, for the same idea and project, use the real red and white baker's twine. There's even a new online exclusive twine that would look really amazing with this idea and this project here. And the third that we're going to do is what I'm calling the nugget wrap. A nugget wrap. So I saw something very similar to this one online, on Pinterest, I think it was. And I understand it's probably like a box, but I just used some designer paper and then did some stamping and used that beautiful ribbon. And I have everything right here ready to go for that. And I do believe I have the measurements for that as well. If not, I'll go over that one. So we've got 3 giftables, and it's that time of year, so this is perfect timing. I think we're going to go with this box first, and then we'll do the one with the 2. And then this one is the one we're going to stamp it, and we're going to die cut it out. It will hold 1 of the Ghirardelli chocolates. And this will be a cute treat for, like I said, anybody. You could put a money tip in there and hand it to your waiter or waitress. It's super fun. You know, giftables, I love doing these kinds of things. And here, I normally use a white paper, but this is a great template to have. For this particular one, it's 5.5 by 3. And then you score it at 2.5 and 3. And then on the long side, you score it at 1/2 inch. And then wherever you put your notch for the front of your design, you're going to put tear and tape. Because what you're going to end up doing is we're going to fold it in just like this. Oh, you know what? I think I said that wrong. The tear and tape is going to have to be here, because when you do this, you want the back and have the design here. Does that make sense? In other words, tear and tape here. So I wrote that wrong. I should have double checked that. But like I said, I like to share all the tips and tricks and things, the do's and don'ts and all of that. So I have all of this ready to go. Good thing I didn't put the tear and tape down. That would have been wrong, but I will do it correctly this time with y'all. Okay, we're gonna make this one. And I've been having a great time playing with some of the new products. You know, like I said, I'm kind of winding down Christmas a little bit, but this is using the Delicate Pines, and this was the online exclusive suite, one of a couple, lots of beautiful, beautiful suites. I just get a couple that really stand out to me and just play with it as much as I possibly can. You can tell this one needs a little love yet. I need to play with it a little bit more. Lots of dies with this one. Absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to use Shaded Spruce for our color tonight. This is one of my favorite green colors, real Christmassy. And it's a snowflake, but it's got like little, I don't even know what you would call this, like fern, which is really intriguing to me. It's just a very different kind of snowflake, but it's really cute. I really like it. I've played with this, I think, one other time with another, I think, Everyday Arches and stuff. So you just tap the ink, and then you just press down firmly, let that ink soak in. And then I always close my ink so that I don't accidentally get my other projects on it. And this is what we're making first. This one's super easy. You could make a ton of these. All right, hopefully you can see it, and it's, like I said, hopefully it won't move the table too much. Sorry about that glare. I haven't quite figured out how to keep that from happening, but I do have an overhead light as well as a light to my right, because I don't know about you, but as I get older, I need all the light to be able to see what I'm doing. Let's see, here we go. So we've got our little die cut piece. Now you could use this if you don't like the pine part, which I think is just fine. But if you didn't want it to be pine, you could get beautiful designer paper and use the dies and die cut them out and just have a lot of really pretty snowflakes in different colors. Some of the designer paper, oops, that one moved, so let me try that again. Some of the designer paper would look really beautiful with that, with the die cut. All right, hopefully this doesn't move. There we go. If it does, you can always use some washi tape, which, speaking of washi tape, demonstrators got to see the new mini catalog for January, and there's some really interesting new washi tape that's coming out, along with some other really fun things that I'm looking forward to. And if you're a customer of mine and you've ordered from me this past year, you will automatically get the new catalog shipped to you for free. I will also have them available for porch pickup for those of you who would like a copy. I won't be able to order those just yet. All right, so this one more time. The 5.5 by 3, and on the 5.5 inch side, you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, or the long side, and then, which is this direction to score it. Sorry about that. And then, did I say that wrong? Hopefully I did not. But that's where we're going to fold all of the score lines on this one. It's the long side that's the 1/2 inch. And then the short side, which is the 3-inch side, you're going to score it. I did say that wrong, didn't I? This is the long side, and it is going to be scored. I did say that wrong. So it's not the long side, it's the short side. This is the measurement of 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And then on the 5-inch side, you're going to score it at 2.5 and at 3. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Man alive. You would think by now I would have this figured out. And then we're going to cut up to that score line in the middle. We're not going to do any of the little tricks that we normally do because it's just a small piece. And so this is something too. Fortunately, you can see this is kind of, it's not even. I was able to pull one side out because it's small enough that when you get your little punch, you want to punch it before you start to adhere and put it together. That's why this one's not even. So you want to do that. And so that's going to be your front. And whatever's your front, you want these pieces to go in the back. Like that, okay? Which means tear and tape is going to be on this, okay? Hopefully that made sense. And you can use some stronger adhesive, but tear and tape when I'm working with 3D projects, I think work out a lot easier. And this might be the 3D that I send in the mail for my swap, which is what I get involved with some other fabulous demonstrators in the local area. We get together once a month, we do swaps, and we're doing a 3D swap. So this probably will be the 3D swap. Because who doesn't like to do a fun little Ghirardelli chocolate? All right, the great thing about tear and tape is I'm going to just do one side at a time. It can be a little tricky if you adventure out there and you don't use the tear and tape. All right, so you just pull that in. And then you just press down just like that. So we've got one side ready to go. And now for the other side. Tear and tape, I think, is one of my go-to adhesives. So this is the front, and so the flaps are facing in the back. Now it's not so much, you don't need to worry about that so much with the next one as you do this one, since the only thing we're doing is we're putting this really cool snowflake right there. So I just want to give it a little glue in the middle there. Just like that. And then of course part of the suite are these amazing faceted snowflakes, which I love all the bling that there is, always. I'm a big bling fan. And it really just sets off your project so beautifully. And so then the only other thing we're missing for this is our little Ghirardelli chocolate peppermint bark. It's that time of year. So that's really, really easy and simple. Now you could probably do more, like add some ribbon if you wanted. Decorate it however you want with whatever you have in your stash. But I thought this was nice and simple and easy. And so that's one way to make a Ghirardelli chocolate holder with that template. Now let's go to the next one, which is this one. And of course, like I said, we're using the Delicate Pines Suite with the paper. We're bringing in some gold. And then I'm using the traditional labels dies to layer this up. So I'm using this piece here for the gold, and then this piece here for the white. It's the traditional labels. That's a fun suite of product. And so Warmest Winter Wishes is right here. We're gonna stamp that one in Shaded Spruce, and I've got some red pre-cut. And of course, this template is very similar, but a little bit more to it, which is fine. This one actually would be big enough to hold one little Tic Tac. And there's actually different sizes of Tic Tacs, believe it or not. Like the small and the large. I didn't realize there were different sizes. So this is like the smaller one. So, I mean, you could do all kinds of fun little things with the little small Tic Tacs. And that's what this one, I'll show you how you can do that. Now for this one we used, and I think I wrote down, perhaps somewhere here. What did I do with that? So this one, let me just count it since I don't have the paper that I wrote it on. So here's the small one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 5th one. Okay, so when you start out 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th one is on another project. This one is number 5. Okay, and this is one of my favorite go-to dies these days. It's Everyday Arches. And then I wanted to also share and point out that for this right here, even though I use the Everyday Arches, you could totally, if you don't have those, because I know those have been super popular and have been temporarily unavailable several times, you could use the Abundant Joy dies. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you could definitely use this little tag, although it wouldn't completely cover it. You could definitely use that. Or you could use the pattern tag dies, which I have some of these die cut out already, just to kind of give you an idea for this size of a box that you could use. And it's a little bit bigger, and you could still do the same thing. I'll show that in just a minute. But you have all these fun dies, and this is in the current mini catalog. All right, let me go ahead, get all these pieces out, ready to go. And this one, you're only going to need the tear and tape on the one edge. This is 6.5 by 2 3/4. On the 6.5 inch side, you're going to score it at 3/4, 3, 3 3/4, and 6. And then on the 2 3/4 inch side, you're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. Two little Ghirardellis. Got all these die cut out, ready to go. There's this beautiful paper. Don't care for that side too much, but I think that one's just gorgeous. All right, so this one, let's go ahead and fold all the score lines. That doesn't seem right. What did I do? So this should not be a score line for some reason. I don't know what I did there. Okay. Sometimes I think, was I half asleep when I was cutting this paper? I don't know. Okay. All right, so this is really cute. Just kind of cut up to the score line and give it a nice little notch right there. Oop, there we go. Now I wanted to mention, for those of you that are coming to the workshop Saturday, I've got some fun folds, that pop-up fold that has the fun surprise on the inside, and then something very similar to this. This was the paper pumpkin that I did last week, and I shared the measurements, which is currently on my YouTube channel. But this is what we're going to do, and it's going to be something different for the design, but this is one of the projects that we're going to do. So we do cards and 3Ds, cut up to the score line. I always like to make it fun for the stampers that come. Okay, let's see. So this piece, we're just going to cut off this entire little corner right here. I don't know why I folded that score there. That's strange. I don't know what I was doing. Unless that was paper that was there, and I think that's what happened. It was paper that was there before. Sometimes if I have little scrap pieces, I'll go and use my scrap pieces, and I think that's what happened. Okay. I don't know about you, but I try to use up as much of the paper as I can. And when I have little pieces left over like this, I just put them in this little baggie, and then I have different sizes paper later. I think that's what happened on this one. All right, so for this one, we're going to use tear and tape. Like I said, it's super easy, and it's really good, strong adhesive. Just like that. You just want to press on it, make sure it's on there nice and easy. And then you've got all the score lines scored, and when you close it together, it's going to adhere. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Don't know if I explained that very well, but. All right, so we're going to take this little tear and tape off. And you've got a score line here, a score line here. It's that second score line that you're going to fold over and then press down. And that's the start of your box. Yeah, I used some scrap paper, and that was already like that. So I don't know why I did that. I didn't double check, and that's okay. You can see it was from before. But once we have all of this on, you won't be able to tell, right? That's the beauty of it. Okay, again, we're going to need a little bit of tear and tape. Just put it in the middle there. I have my fan on if you hear a noise. Here in the South, it warms up very quickly. All right, so here we go. And then I'm going to get my bone folder and just kind of tap it. Make sure that it is adhered very well. We're going to cover up those pieces, like I said. It's the perfect size. Oh, before I do that, let me just show you. So it will fit a Tic Tac, little Tic Tac, which I think is what we'll use for this one. Now, before I put these on, I'm going to put them opposite of each other. And I'm going to go ahead and use another. I use this often. It's a really fun set of hole punch assortments. There's 3 different ones. This one I tend to use a lot. It's got that nice little, I don't know, indentation, if you will, at the top. And then I always hold it this way so I can see where the punch is going in. Make sure that's, see how that is? All right, so then you're just going to bring this in about an inch or so down. Those pieces, just like that, okay? The cutest little punch. Set of 3. I like those. Okay. And I'm going to add some adhesive. And add this to the bottom. Apply a little bit of pressure. And oh, before I put that one on, let me just show you this one. That's why I have it right smack dab in the middle. You could totally do something like that as well. I just, like I said, everyday arches are like totally my favorite. I thought, oh, I don't need those when they came out in the spring this year. And then it was like, I've seen so many amazing 3Ds and cards, and I'm just like, I had to have it. So it's kind of my go-to these days. All right, same thing, just apply that pressure. We've already got this notch there. And then we're gonna put our little Tic Tac, and of course, like I mentioned before, it will hold Tic Tacs, and it will also hold 2 Ghirardelli chocolates. And so I've got this beautiful striped ribbon, gold striped, that is, yep, gold striped, temporarily unavailable, but it will be back in stock in a couple of weeks. So we're just gonna feed it in one angle at a time. Okay, and then I'm just gonna make a knot. Normally I would make the piece a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Let's see, what did I do with the other? Now you can always use, I just had it here too, your twine, whatever twine that you have. What did I do with it? It was just here. So this one's retired, but I have lots of it. This was probably, I want to say, oh man, it was back when that green, probably 3 years ago, we had a green, real pretty green color for an in color, and then this was part of that sweet, simply elegant trim. And when I find something I like, I get lots of it, and so I have it for future projects. And so again, you know, some of these are in kits, in the kits collection. You'll get these just like that. So, you know, use whatever, like I said, use whatever twine that you have in your stash that you want. Because most of us crafters have beautiful twine and all kinds of goodies. All right, so now I put a little knot, right? And I'm gonna hold it up. I think I saw somebody do this once before, and I thought, that's such a great idea. I'm gonna hold it somehow with my hands or fingers here. And I basically do a double knot. So I'm just going to feed that through. Might be hard to see. And then just bring it through one more time. A second double knot. So that's going to keep the pretty ribbon up straight. And then I'm going to come in, and then I'm just going to give it a snip. Just like that. All right. Beautiful. There's some new ribbon too coming out that's gorgeous. All right. So next, like I said, I can't remember which one was the front or back, but it's covered. So, you know, little air, things like that, I wouldn't worry too much about. Now this one, we're gonna stamp Warm Winter Wishes in Shaded Spruce. I keep moving things, just, I know there's a glare. I'm trying to cover the glare, but not always successful. Just hold it down and let that ink soak in. All right, and then I'm just gonna add a little adhesive to the middle and layer it. The gold just really sets it out. It's just gorgeous. Then I think I want that side to be the front. And I'm going to apply 2 dimensionals directly to my project. For me, it just seems a little bit easier to put this on. Just like that. And there is our little Ghirardelli chocolate holder for 2. And again, you can use whatever twine that you have. You know, like I said, the kids collection, they always have all kinds of fun. And this is 6.5 by 2 3/4. You want to take a quick screenshot or rewind to the beginning again. And so that's 2 of the Ghirardelli slash Tic Tac holder, because you could definitely do the Tic Tacs on that one. And then for our final 3D tonight, so I'm sharing 3 because it's that time of year, and I love all kinds of 3D things. And I spent, I don't know how many hours, I didn't write it down, I probably should have, but I always forget until later, and I just mess around until I figure stuff out. I don't think I saved the mishaps on this one. I call it mishaps because I was trying to figure out, you know, I had seen online on Pinterest, I think it was, a beautiful, you know, little giftable type thing, very, very similar to this. But I could never figure out, you know, was it a box? And so I just ended up coming up with this myself after lots of trial and error and measuring. So our beautiful, beautiful ribbon that's in the current mini catalog, it's the Real Red, and it's shiny ribbon. I guess they just call it shiny ribbon. Beautiful. So we're calling this a nugget wrap. So our ribbon is approximately 11 inches. And I see that I don't have this marked, so I'm not sure. And then you can see that's something too. For this one, when I didn't grab it, I'm gonna have to grab it in a minute and clean it. So this stamp is coming from, and it's actually a bundle, the Sign Design, Merry and Bright. And so when you have something that's got a lot going on, how would I say that? There's a lot of ink that's going to be needed for all of that to show up. And I tried using my big ink pad, but what I found has worked for me best on this one is going to be a little ink spot. So I'm going to grab that here in a second. This is the Sign Design and Coordinating Punch, which I realize I don't know where it's at, so it might take me a hot minute. But I do need to clean this because this was a project I had started, I don't know, a couple weeks back, maybe even a month ago, and I got distracted by other projects and it got set off to the side, and I'm like, oh yes, I want to share this. All right, so I'm cleaning that. And I'd save that to share that with you. I'm gonna stamp it twice and punch it out, but I have to find the punch. And then for the nugget wrap, I have it written down, but I don't know. Yep, this is it. This is the nugget wrap. And it's going to be the same for the designer paper as well as the cardstock. Now the cardstock is going to give it an extra layer to hold everything together. I think that's what I meant to do by that. So just have an extra one right here. And this is the measurements right here. And then while you're doing a screenshot of that, I'm going to grab the ink spot and the punch. One moment. Where did I put that punch? How baffling. Let's see. Huh. I don't know what I did with it. But I found the ink. I have kind of a mess up here, so that could be why I can't find it, but let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure what I did with it. Well, I'll just do fussy cutting. That's fine too. All right, so the nugget wrap for the designer paper and the cardstock is 6 inches by 1 1/4. And then there's several scoring. I don't know if you can see that. You're going to score at 1 1/8, 2, 4, and 4 7/8. Yep. To double check myself there. Okay. All right, so let me show you. I'm using a real red ink spot. I always say, you know, start out with a clean block and make sure your ink pad is very juicy. And I do recall I need to re-ink my big pad, but this one should be nice and juicy. Oops, I'm getting it everywhere. All right, let's take a chance on this one. Now the trick on this one, because you've got a lot of ink, you're going to want to make sure that you just press down firmly and don't be in any hurry to lift that up. Just let that ink soak in there. How odd, I can't find my punch. Oh, it's with my other punches. All right, so we're gonna try that one more time, right? And maybe by the time we do it again and punch this one out, it'll have dried. And sometimes it does look better when it dries. Just keep that in mind. Again, just apply that ink nice and evenly. And then I bring the ink spot to the stamp. And then again, I'm going to press down firmly. This is a really fun bundle. All right. I'm going to say that looks pretty good. And then here is our sign design punch. But as you can see, it would be very easy to fussy cut if you needed to. All right, there we go. And then this one, I'm just going to trim it just a tiny bit so it'll fit into the punch. Voila. Now I've got some more that I can use later. Sign design punch. Okay, here's all the scoring. And I'm basically going to layer it together. It just gives it an added strength. And a real pretty design to go with it. All right, so then we've got our 4 nuggets. That I'm going to use a glue dot in between each one. This will hold up to 4 of these nuggets. And I keep referring back because honestly it's been a hot minute since I made this fun little project. There we go. So this middle section here is where these 4 nuggets are going to sit. So I'm going to add a little adhesive there. I'm going to set them down just like that. And then this is going to come up on each side. And that did not work, did it? What did I do wrong? Oh, that's what I did wrong. See, I did that last time too. Sideways. Like that. I did that wrong the first time too. Okay, so there we go. Now it's gonna work. Like that, okay? That's how easy that is. Oh, I forgot I got some adhesive there. Okay, so it's gonna go just like that. I probably should have taken pictures of this one before, but that's okay. All right, so next, we're just gonna add in some more of this really cool Stampin' Seal Plus. And voila. Now, this is going to be on each side. But I think first I want to add this beautiful ribbon. Of course, the bottom is going to be on the bottom like so. And we're basically going to tie 2 knots. Knot 1, and here's knot number 2. Well, haha. It just takes a little bit of patience. This would be fun in a craft fair too. Great way to use up some of your scrap papers. All right, so once you've got that, then you come in with your ribbon, scissors, snip it off. And then we're going to add our Stampin' Seal Plus over the top. Just like that. Hopefully this was easy to follow along. Then you just press down and there is your cute little 4 nuggets. Ta-da! Very easy. Okay? This was my version. I know there's some other versions out there like this, but this is, to me, this made the most sense. Because I put all 4 together and I had some spare paper and ribbon. I'm like, okay, so how many inches and where do I score it? So all of that I figured out after much trial and error, but there it is. It's, again, 6 inches by 1 1/4, scored at 1 1/8, 2 inches, 4 inches, and 4 7/8. And you're going to do that for your designer paper on top of your cardstock to give it some strength. The ribbon is approximately 11 inches. You just do 2 little knots. This would be great little table gifts for friends coming over. And that is our 3D for tonight using the Sign Design bundle. And then, of course, our little Ghirardelli chocolates holders. And the other chocolate holder slash Tic Tac holder. And that is it for tonight. I usually have cards, but like I said, I'm kind of winding down, I think, on the Christmas cards. But I'll probably have some more in the next coming weeks. As it gets closer to Christmas, I'll be looking at some springtime fun. But meanwhile, I want to use up and share with you all these fun ideas and all the measurements. And those of you that are coming Saturday, you're going to get to do a 3D item. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a fun pop out. There's a word I would use, but there's some words that your accounts get all messed up if you use certain words. But it's a surprise pop-up. Let's put it that way. I've shared one before, and so you'll enjoy that one Saturdays. So anyway, thank you so much. Oh, you know what? I forgot. That's the one thing I always forget is the cute little, I was looking at this and I realized, wait. Okay, so this is my second pack of these traditional sparkling sequins. I absolutely love these. They're so beautiful. I'm gonna add a little red right there. There we go. Don't forget the bling. All right, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. We'll see you next week with some more fun, maybe a hot cocoa packets. I don't know, just I'm in this fun giftable phase, and I love to share all the fun with you. 3D items, fancy folds, fun fold cards, all the things. So thank you for joining me and for subscribing and sharing and liking and all the things. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next week. Happy stamping.